want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekakodash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, the hopeful elect. All right. So I'm gonna go in. I was reading this at work today, and Acts 5 is a heavy chapter, right? So I'm not gonna get through the whole thing because it's long. But let's see. I'm gonna start at the top of Acts 5, and it says, all right, because basically what was happening is the brotherhood, all the believers were coming on one accord, right? Where they were splitting all their belongings and then giving it according to the need of each man, right? So evenly, or fairly distributing goods to each man of Israel, because they were on one accord. So they take care that you take care of your brother in the truth, right? And the Spirit was on them, so they were literally selling their things and distributing it among the believers. So this is Acts 5, and it says, "But a certain man named Ananias, with Sapphira his wife, sold a possession and kept back part of the price, his wife also being privy to it, and brought a certain part and laid it at the apostles' feet." So they sold their land, but they kept on the down low. They kept part of the profit, right? But Peter said, "Ananias, why hath Satan filled thine heart to lie to the Holy Spirit, and to keep back part of the price of the land?" So, brothers, this shows the importance of not lying to the Holy Spirit, right? It says right here, "Whilst it remained, was it not thine own? And after it was sold, was it not thine own power? Why hast thou conceived this thing in thine heart? Thou hast not lied unto men, but unto the Most High." All right, so when you're lying about you sell your possessions and you do what they did. You keep on the down low, on the private. You keep some of the some of the profit when everybody else was selling their stuff and they were they weren't hiding profit. So you do that type of thing with the believers, the one accord, the 144,000, the prophets, the elect. You see, then let's see what happens. Let's see what the consequences are for lying to the like he said, you ain't lying to men, you're lying to the Most High. Verse 5. Ananias, hearing these words, fell down and gave up the ghost, and great fear came on all them that heard these things. So he gave up the ghost, meaning he gave up the spirit. He died, right? He got so scared and terrified, the Lord he probably had a heart attack, And verse 6, "And young men arose, wound him up, and they carried him out and buried him. And it was about the space of 3 hours after, when his wife, not knowing what was done, came in." So she didn't know, his wife Sapphira, right? She came in. She didn't know that her husband had just died of a heart attack, most likely, right? Verse 7. "They buried him, and she didn't even know what happened. And it was about the space of 3 hours, when his wife, not knowing was done, came in. And Peter answered unto her, Tell me whether ye sold the land for much. And she said, Yea, for so much. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of Yahweh? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out." So he was like, Peter, that's the power that he had. He had spiritual power. And he wasn't putting her to death. It was the Holy Spirit. It was her own transgression that put her to death, all right? But Peter was telling her what was going to happen, because he knew in the Spirit, right? He said, the people that are carrying your husband are at the door, and they're going to carry you out too. So he knew that the Most High was going to take the Spirit off her. She was going to give up the Spirit. Verse 10. Then she fell down straightway at his feet and yielded up the spirit. And the young men came in and found her dead, and carrying her forth, buried her by her husband. And great fear came upon all the church and upon as many as heard these things. So this happened very suddenly, right? And so I've actually had this happen, with somebody giving up the spirit because they came up against the truth, right? It was one of my exes. She literally one day she cursed the elders. This is a while back, and so I never talked to her again after she cursed the elders. Right, I just cut her off. And next thing you know, a year later, I got word that the Lord, took her spirit. So this stuff, it happens, man. People come up against us. People come up against this truth, this knowledge. And remember, the Lord, He send them death angels, especially if his servants, the prophets, are offended. You says you don't want to offend the little ones. Let's get that real quick, right? Let me see. This laptop is. Here we go. I'm gonna get that real quick. I'm gonna keep reading and then I'll get it. It says here. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of Yahweh? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out. And I read that. So she straightway fell and yielded up the ghost, right? And it says, Great fear came upon all that heard these things. So people were getting afraid of that thing, like they heard, like, oh shit. They heard the story, what I just read, And they witnessed it. They saw Ananias and Sapphira, give up the ghost because of their, tempting the Lord. All right. It says, and by the hands of the apostles were many signs and wonders wrought among the people, and they were all with one accord in Solomon's porch. Right. So remember, they were all like-minded. Everybody was, on one accord. That's how that's how the elect will be, on one accord when it comes to this knowledge. Like when that happens, everybody agrees on one accord. Like they know why those two people were put to death. They all knew why. They were all on the same accord, right? It says, end of the 13, and of the rest durst no man join himself to them, but the people magnified them. See, so the prophets, because people saw the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and they were fearing. People get scared in their spirits with this truth, man. If they the Israelites, maybe they don't believe it 100%, but they'll get scared. The Lord will put a spirit of fear on them, and they'll think twice. Some people, will think twice about offending the elect. You see. Let me get that now. Let me see. I knew it was in Matthew. I just didn't know where at exactly. So it's Matthew 18:6. It says, But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it was better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Right? So really the little ones, it starts out with the prophets, but it really can go extended to the elect. You offend one of the elect, you're better off throwing a big ass millstone or big ass rock around your neck, and then jumping in the sea. You see? So you don't want to offend the Lord's elect, right? You don't want to offend the Lord's prophets. He'll send them death angels out. All right. Acts 5. And so in verse 13 it says, And of the rest durst no man join himself to them, but the people magnified them. And durst means dare. So they dared, nobody was going to try and, get in the, mess with the brotherhood, or be a, they wouldn't dare ask, hey, can I be a part of this? If in their spirit, then, the 2/3, the elect, the 2/3, the heathen, they wouldn't have the spirit to join unto the believers, the prophets. Starts out with the prophets, well, the elect, the rest of the people that believe the prophets and that feared Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, it says in 14, and the believers were more added to Yahweh, multitudes both of men and women. All right, so people were seeing, they were hearing the words, the truth was coming out, right? Remember, the apostles were, it's like the time right now. Brothers always say that we're basically in the book of Acts all over again, because now here we are, the Lord's prophets, the servants, and the same type of things happen. You see, you got people that, and I'm not the only one, I'm sure, that has a testimony with this type of things, when people giving up the ghost, people that have come up against us or against our elders. You see, where we at? We're in those times, brothers. This is the book of Acts repeating itself. There's nothing new under the sun, right? Verse 15, and so much that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, and that the least of the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. And it's like a metaphor for a covering or protection, right? If they believed, you're protected. That's how you're healed. That's how the sick are healed in the streets, because they're covered and they have a hedge if you're a part of the elect. If you're, and if you show faith, there's different signs and things that the elect is going to do to bear witness to who they are, right? That's why it says that in Romans 8. I think it's Romans 8:11. No, the Spirit beareth witness to who we are, KJV. All right, yeah, Romans 8:16.
Romans 8 verses 16 to 25.
Yeah.
According to BibleGateway.com, Romans 8 verses 16 to 25, King James Version 16.
This thing's going to read it all for me, but I'm going to read it. So it says, Romans 8:16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the Most High. So, the ones who are doing the work, the ones who show the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the elect, the ones who receive the names, the ones who receive the truth. We're the children of the Most High, okay? And it's our spirit that's the witness who we are. So the ones who were bringing out the beds and couches, and they would just hope that Peter's shadow would pass them or cover them, though that's an act of faith. That's an act of an Israelite. You're not going to have no Edomites, believing the Lord's prophets in this day and age and bringing, people to our camps and asking them to heal them in the spirit, because that's not the spirit of an Edomite. But if the person looks like a so-called Caucasian, right, and they're doing faithful acts like this, then you have to, like it says here, the spirit. It doesn't say that the flesh bears witness to who we are. No, it's the spirit. Most Israelites are, look like the so-called black, Latino, and Native Americans, but at the end of the day, it goes back to the spirit. All right, because you have on the same token, you have the tares, which they look like they look the part, but their spirit don't bear witness. And I've came across that too. You're in this truth long enough, you understand the spirits and who you can tell who you can have a good hunch on who's an Edomite, who's an Israelite, who's a tare. You see, which the tares are the seed of the wicked, right? And I'm not going to get into a lesson on tares, but it's the Spirit that bears witness to who we are. All right, in verse 16. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm at Acts 5 and 16. It says, "There came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed every one." So, people with faith are going to come to the men of the Lord that to be healed. So, no matter what they look like, if they're coming in the right spirit, they could be an Israelite, right? Because the heathen, starting out with the Edomites, they're not in the 2/3. Even the 2/3, they're not going to have that type of faith where they're going to come out to the streets and hope that the prophets can bless them, can heal them with this knowledge, with this truth. All right? And it's the same thing today, You can't heal a heathen or a 2/3 out there. We're only able to heal the elect. The elect are the only ones who can receive this knowledge and this truth. All right? So I'm going to close the lesson out, I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor, all the love unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukakudash. Double honors goes out to the elder apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth. Also, one acknowledge the Akyam, who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of their Shalom to the elect. Shalom.